Now remember, these times are sent to test you. Are you dialed into this market? And more importantly, do you understand what is going on? Bitcoin taking a hit over the last 24 hours, but I'm here to tell you, this is perfectly normal in every single bull run, and I have never been more bullish about the price of Bitcoin and the fact that I think the crypto market is about to explode. And guess what? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. Whether it's a Federal Reserve behind the scenes buyback, a company wastes a $4 billion plan to buy Bitcoin, or simply a company doubling their holdings, there is so much bullish narrative coming that, well, this simply is just a run-of-the-mill bull market with a little bit of a pullback. So before we get into it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Every day we're going to break down the markets, keeping you dialed in and level-headed to make sure that your portfolio is as maximum as it possibly can. Now hit that like button and let's get into it. So here we go, Bitcoin trending with this big wick down over the course of the last 24 hours, actually lowering below 116, which is my lower price target that I thought Bitcoin could come down and retest. Now we'll wait and see what this filters out over the course of the next few hours, particularly with market opens, etc. But we did absolutely get this wick down, basically eradicating all of this kind of movement since early July. But what is going on and why are the markets taking a bit of a hit? Well, the reality is that we've seen a couple of things play out, namely a tariff policy, as well as lots of debate from the Federal Reserve. The fact they didn't cut interest rates was seen as a negative. Not as bad, though, as they didn't talk about a potential September rate cut, which the market had pretty much priced in. We expected a rate cut in September. That doesn't look to be the case. If you were to take a look at the CME Fed Watch, it's telling us now that, well, the reality is that isn't going to happen, and we could have to wait until October for a rate cut, which, like we said, the market's simply not in that place. You can see here, look, this is what it looks like for September. Originally, we were very much dialed into getting a rate cut, not anymore. Therefore, that puts us at a potential first rate cut coming in at around the 29th of October. But with fear comes uncertainty. And bear in mind, when the market's fearful, what's the best tactic? Buy as much as you can. That's generally a good theme, but that is exactly what the Fed have done. The fact of the matter is, Federal Reserve US Treasury buyback, just over $2 billion. The US Treasury there buying back in a significant amount. What is the impact of this? Well, the reality is it stabilizes markets. It brings treasury yields down, ultimately make sure that the US is paying less on the treasuries that they've issued. Basically, they're printing money, buying it back with printed money to bring the interest rates down on what they issue for printed money. It's a bit mental, right? Bitcoin and the crypto markets does solve this. But what it tells you here is there is an element of uncertainty and desire to bring those treasury yields down. When you bring treasury yields down, what happens? Risk assets, boom. And this is why, or the first point why, I am still very bullish on this market. And I think when you understand what's happening at the macro level, it certainly makes it feel a little bit easier when you start looking at your portfolio, for example. Now, again, the other thing to note with this big Bitcoin dump that we saw over the last 24 hours, think about this. We've seen billion-dollar liquidations in the markets. 266 million. I mean, it's literally a walk in the park. No one really cares. It's small change to some people. The reality is, though, 266 million on the longs is not that bad. 332 million overall. Now, with all of this chaos going on, by the way, and you would think people would all of a sudden start to flip bearish. The market's over. You'll have seen the videos on YouTube. Everyone's telling you it's over. In fact, my thumbnail looks like it's over, but it's not. It's just to get you to click on the video. The reality is that Michael Saylor announced his Q2 2025 financial results, and they're pretty epic, while at the same time issuing a $4.2 billion offering to go and buy more Bitcoin. So Saylor's buying the small dip that's here, and he knows what's coming. By the way, the company outperforming with a 25% Bitcoin yield. It's absolutely insane what that number is doing. And again, outperforming everything in the S&P 500. So this is reality. We also got Brian Armstrong announcing this, by the way, on the back of some very big developments coming out of Coinbase. Well, that they are long on Bitcoin. Their now holdings there increased by 2,500 Bitcoin. They actually bought some Bitcoin the other day, which I think is very, very bullish. And they are certainly ready for this bull market. And then everyone else is pretty much aligned to what we said, an average retest of the uptrend favoring the bulls. Now, if we were to break down below this level, head down to 110 as an example, that might be squeaky bum time. We might start to get into a world of thinking, oh, let's see where we go to. But the reality is, at the minute, it is just playing out like we normally see on every other bull market. And that the bull run that we all want and this massive parabolic phase up to that 135, 150, may even be 185, is still dialed in, and we are very much locked into what's coming. Bear in mind, the US government themselves just released a 166-page dossier all about cryptocurrency. Bo Hines is telling us they're going to buy strategic Bitcoin for their reserve and treasuries. And basically every company that is on the planet right now will eventually move to Bitcoin, and we're seeing that more and more. Even with all of this market volatility that's going on, even with all of this market change going on, guess what? BlackRock still came in and bought. So did Fidelity and many other of these big companies that are looking to stack as much as they can on those ETFs. And this only reinforces the fact that there is more to come. And actually, at nearly $4 billion of asset inflows, you can see BlackRock not buying the biggest bag, but they bought some. Altcoin buying as well as Grayscale. We saw probably a little bit of outflows that we haven't seen for a while. But overall, the sentiment at the institutional level is incredibly strong. The only piece of the puzzle that's missing right now is a little bit of retail and a lot of patience, because this bull market, in my opinion, is only just starting to cook and we're going way higher. But always curious about your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, hit that like and subscribe button. It does massively help out the channel and really keeps us moving and making sure that people's portfolios, including yours, are dialed in this bull market, because there is a lot to come. As always, thanks very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.